Hello everybody, what's up? Today I'm going to go through my Japanese Beatles record collection. I'm going to go through all the Beatles records, both group and solo. This video was a long time coming, but I finally got around to making this video, and I'm looking forward to showing all the Japanese records for all of you to enjoy seeing. So let's begin. Going to start off with the 7-inch records. I have a handful here, and I also have a box set as well as the albums I'm going to show in a moment. Alright, onto the record. First of the 7-inch records is, this is like a Twist and Shout EP. It's like their first EP, I believe. It's on Odeon. Show the back here. And here's the insert here. I'm going to have to find a better copy of this insert. I had this record for about 2.5 years, I believe. And here's the record here. Plays at 33 1/3. Here are the songs on here. This next Japanese record is also an EP. It also plays at 33 1/3. This is on a Hard Day's Night EP. Here are the songs on here. This is another EP part of the Odeon Compact EP series. Back of it. Here's an insert here with the lyrics. And here's the record. Also on dark red vinyl. All the songs are in stereo. The next Japanese Beatles record I have, also a compact EP, played at 33 1/3. This is You're Gonna Lose That Girl EP. Insert here. Lyrics, all the songs. And here's the back of the jacket. Here's the record. The next Japanese record here is a Help EP. It's also another one in the Compact EP series. Back of it, insert. The record, also in stereo, on dark red vinyl, plays at 33 1/3. Okay, all of the Japanese EPs I showed so far are first pressings from the 60s. This one is a second pressing because it is on the Apple label. Next EP, it's a Michelle EP. Back of the jacket. Here's the record here on Apple. Dark red vinyl, also in stereo. This copy doesn't have the lyric insert for some reason. It may have been pitched or something. It's supposed to come with the record. The next Japanese record I have is Hey Jude, backed with Revolution. This is a first pressing. Here's the original inner sleeve. And here's the record, of course. This is a 45 RPM record. And it's in mono. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show for this Japanese Beatles vinyl collection video is this. This is the Beatles EP collection. I already did a video showing all the records individually. I'm going to go through all the records real quick in this set. Here's the Beatles hits. Twist and Shout. The Beatles #1. All My Lovin'. Long Tall Sally. Extracts from the film A Hard Day's Night. Extracts from the album A Hard Day's Night. Beatles for Sale. Beatles for Sale #2. The Beatles Million Sellers. Yesterday. Nowhere Man. Magical Mystery Tour. Record 1 with the insert. Record 2. Both records in mono. And the last of the EP box is a bonus EP in stereo. Okay, now we're going to go through the Japanese albums. First of the Japanese albums is Meet the Beatles. This is the Japanese exclusive version. It has 14 songs instead of 11 or 12 on the US version on red vinyl, and it's in mono. I have another copy of Meet the Beatles, the same pressing. This is a first pressing from the early 60s on Odeon. And the condition of this record is much better than the other one I just showed you. Next Japanese Beatles record is Please Please Me, one of my recent finds. Has a different track listing. It has all 14 songs from the Please Please Me album, but the sequencing of songs is different. Here's the book here. I showed the book in the update video. And here's the record. This one's in stereo. This next record is the same kind of album as Please Please Me. This is with the Beatles, Japanese pressing. Early 70s pressing with the Beatles Forever OB. This one also has the book. Here's the record here on Apple, and it's in stereo. Sequencing of songs is different from the UK one. Here's a glimpse of the black inner sleeve that the record is housed in, and the black inner sleeve is in fantastic condition. Next Japanese Beatles record I have is the Beatles' second album. This is the exclusive in Japan, and it's different track listing from the Beatles' second album in the United States. Insert here. Original inner sleeve. Here's the record. This one is a second pressing. And it's in mono. Next Japanese record I have is A Hard Day's Night with a different cover. Back cover. And here's a record here in stereo, and it's a first pressing. I have another Hard Day's Night Japanese version. This one has some writing. Here's the back cover. Record, same pressing as the other copy I just showed. Also first pressing in stereo. Next Japanese Beatles record, Beatles for Sale, in stereo. Gatefold. Here's the record. This is a first pressing. And the record's in stereo, and the record plays great. Next Japanese Beatles album I have is Beatles number 5. I did not pay $150 for this record. I bought this a few years ago for I think $50 or maybe less than that. Here's a back cover here. Here's the record. This is the first pressing from the 60s. It's in mono. This was one of the first Japanese records I purchased. Next Japanese Beatles record, Help, in stereo. And this is a gatefold. Here's a record. This one's not in great condition, but despite the condition, it still plays all the way through without any issues. It just has pops and crackles all over the place. And this is a first pressing. I have copy number 2 of Help, also the Japanese first pressing. Gatefold as well. And here's the insert here with the lyrics of all the songs. And here's a record in much better condition than my other copy that I just showed you. And it's also a first pressing from the 60s. And it's on Odeon. I have a third copy of Help, which I purchased recently. This has a inner sleeve, unlike my other copies, and this one's in nice condition. Insert here. Here's a record. This one's in stunning condition. Unlike the other 2 copies I showed you, this one came with a portrait of the Beatles while they're filming Help on the beach at the Bahamas. I have 3 Japanese copies of Rubber Soul to show you. Here's copy number 1 on Odeon. Here's the back cover. Original inner sleeve. And here's an insert with the lyrics of all the songs on the album. And here's the record. This is in excellent condition, and this is a first pressing. Here's copy number 2 of Rubber Soul Japanese pressing, also on Odeon. Inner sleeve here. Inner sleeve's in stunning condition. The back cover. This one has the lyric insert. This one's in much better condition. And the record, almost the same condition as the other copy, but this one's probably better. And it's also first pressing. Here's my third copy of Rubber Soul, Japanese version. And it's on Apple. Here's an insert. Same kind of insert as the other copies, except it's on Apple and not Odeon. Here's the original black inner sleeve, and it's in fantastic condition. And here's the record on Apple, and this is in stunning condition. Next Japanese album I have is a box set. This is the Beatles story. This is a Japanese first pressing on Odeon Records. Here's the inside of the box here. Here's record 1. Here's the original Japanese inner sleeve. Here's record 1. This is in stereo, and it's in almost mint condition. Hasn't been played. Here's record 2. There's a record here in stunning condition. Looks like it's in mint condition like record 1. This box set includes a booklet. It has some rare photos of the Beatles, as well as the transcript of the entire album. And it's in both Japanese and English. Next Japanese Beatles record I'm going to show is Revolver. This is a Japanese first pressing in stereo. Here's a record here. A first pressing on Odeon. I have another Revolver, Japanese first pressing. Here's a back cover. Stunning condition. Here's the original Japanese inner sleeve. This one's kind of ripped, but it was ripped when I received it. Here's the lyric insert. Lyrics all the songs on the album. And of course, here's a record. First pressing on red vinyl. In stunning condition. I haven't played this copy. Next Japanese Beatles record I have. A collection of Beatles oldies but goldies. Back cover. Here's the inner sleeve. Not in the greatest condition, but it's in acceptable condition. Lyric insert. And the record as well. This is the first pressing on Odeon. And it plays great. I have another copy of a collection of Beatles oldies but goldies. This is on Apple. Has the original Apple Obi. Here's the black inner sleeve and the insert here. This is the same kind of lyric insert as the other copy, except that's on Apple. Here's a record on Apple. Next Japanese Beatles album I have, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Gatefold. Here's the record here. This copy doesn't come with a lyric insert. I think it did at one time and then it was pitched. Another copy of Sgt. Pepper. This one has the original inner sleeve here. The Japanese inner sleeve. Here's a record. Now on to Magical Mystery Tour, Japanese first pressing. It has the book intact. Not one page ripped out. Here's a record here, dark red vinyl on Odeon. I have 2 copies of the White Album to show you, and they're both Japanese first pressings. Here's copy number 1, and here's my number. Gatefold. Record 1 on Apple. Record 2 on Apple. I have another White Album that I purchased recently, and here's my number. Unlike the other copy I showed you, this one has all the inserts. Here's a poster. All 4 of the portraits here. This is the same kind of pressing. Dark red vinyl pressing on Apple. And this is in better condition than the other copy. Here's record 2. Now on to the next Japanese Beatles record, Yellow Submarine. It's only a one-sided insert. It's the lyrics of all the Beatles songs on this album. The other side is blank. Here's a record. Japanese first pressing on Apple. Next, Abbey Road, Japanese pressing. Lyric insert, all the songs on the album. Here's a record, dark red vinyl. It's on Apple. This next copy of Abbey Road that I'm going to show you, this one, I'm going to need another copy with the OB if I can find one at an affordable price. Here's Abbey Road. This is part of the Japanese Pro Use series. This is really pricey with the OB, but I found this without the OB for a good price. Insert here. Here's a record. This is on black vinyl. Next Japanese Beatles album I have is Hey Jude with the OB. Lyric insert. And here's the record, Japanese red vinyl. Next I have Let It Be. Doesn't have the Apple OB, but it has this golden OB with some Japanese text on it. And it's torn on the top. It was like that when I received this. Here's a gatefold. The black inner sleeve made by Apple. Insert. And here's a record on dark red vinyl. Next Japanese Beatles record, the Red Album, 1962 and 1966. This is an early 80s print without the OB. I'm going to have to find an upgrade of this pressing with the OB. Here's the gatefold from the Mad Day Out shoot in 1968. Here's the lyric insert. This one's nice. Record 1, inner sleeve. And here's the record. Transparent red vinyl. Here's the inner sleeve for record 2. Here's the record, also on transparent red vinyl. The next Japanese album I have is the Blue Album, 1967 and 1970. This is also an early 80s print, also without the OB, and another one I'm going to have to upgrade with the OB. Also has the same Mad Day Out gatefold. Insert. Record 1 inner sleeve. Record 1, transparent blue vinyl. Inner sleeve for record 2. and of course the record here. The next few records are going to be part of the Japanese country flag series. The first of the few here is Help, Gatefold. Here's the insert. And of course the record. Here's another record, part of the Japanese country flag series, Yesterday and Today. Gatefold. A nice insert here. Lyrics, all the songs in both Japanese and in English. The record on Apple. Next Japanese record I have is the Beatles Rarities. This is the American version of the album. Here's the back of it. A gatefold. This album comes with an awesome insert. And here's a record. It's not on Apple. Next record I have is the Beatles Beat. This is a Japanese repressing of the original German album. Insert. This record's not on Apple either, but it's on this nice EMI Odeon label. Okay, next Japanese record I have is Meet the Beatles, also part of the Japanese country flag series. Here's the back of it. Gatefold. Here's the insert. The record on Apple. Next album I have, part of the Japanese country flag series, Beatles 6. Gatefold. Here's the insert. Lyrics, all the songs in both English and in Japanese. Here's a record, of course, on Apple. Next record, part of the Japanese flag series, Revolver. Here's the insert. The record in stereo on Apple. And the last of the Japanese country flag series that I'm going to show for this collection video, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. A gatefold, the cutout, and an insert. Here's a record on Apple. Next Japanese record I have is Rock and Roll Music Volume 2 with the original Obi. Here's the back of it. Here's a nice insert. Here's the record. Okay, I'm going to go through the Japanese 1982 repressings of the Beatles mono albums, and they're all on red vinyl, and I'm going to go through them as quick as I can. Here's Please Please Me. Here's the insert in the record with the Beatles. Red vinyl record with the lyric insert. A Hard Day's Night. Red vinyl and the lyric insert. Beatles for Sale. Here's the red vinyl and the insert. Help. Red wax vinyl with insert. rubber sole. Here's a red vinyl. This copy doesn't have the lyric insert. Here's another rubber sole. This one has the red record and the lyric insert. Revolver. Red wax vinyl with the lyric insert. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Gatefold. There's a Japanese red wax vinyl with the lyric insert. As you can see, all the lyrics on this insert are in Japanese. That is because all the lyrics are in English on the back cover here. Next is the White Album in mono. This one doesn't have the obi. Here's a gatefold. Here's everything that's part of the album. The 4 photos. Here's a lyric insert. Here's a poster. Now onto the records. Here's record 1. Record 2. Here's another copy of the White Album. This one has the obi, and it also has all the inserts, and the records are in stunning condition on this copy. Here's the last album, part of the Japanese Red Wax Mono series, Yellow Submarine, with the obi. Lyric insert. It has lyrics to the Beatles songs only. As most of you know, this is half Beatles music and half instrumental music from the film Yellow Submarine. Here's the record. Here's another copy of Yellow Submarine, but it doesn't have the obi. Here's a red vinyl here. This one doesn't have the lyric insert like the copy I just showed you. Alright, that's all of the Beatles Japanese albums as a group. Now on to the solo Beatles records. This one's a 7-inch record. First of the solo records I'm going to show you is by John Lennon and Plastic Ono Band. This is Cold Turkey, backed with Don't Worry Kayoko, Mommy's Only Looking for a Hand in the Snow, and which is the title in parentheses. This one has a shrink. And this is like a 80s or 90s pressing. Here's a record on EMI Odeon. First of the Japanese solo Beatles records is Live Peace in Toronto by Plastic Ono Band. Insert. Here's a record on EMI Odeon. The next Japanese solo Beatles album I have is another one by John Lennon. This is actually a John Lennon and Yoko Ono album, Double Fantasy, audiophile edition, virgin vinyl. This one has the obi. Here's an insert. Looks like it's mainly Japanese writing. All the lyrics to the songs in Japanese are on this insert. Here's the record here on Geffen. I have another Japanese John Lennon album to show you. This one is a repressing from 1981 or 1982. This is Shaved Fish with the obi here, except there's a little tear on the top. Back of it. Here's the insert. And here's a big memorial poster for John. This album was repressed shortly after he died. And what's interesting about this pressing of Shaved Fish, it's on transparent green vinyl. And this sounds really good. And there's only 10,000 of these made. Like the Beatles 1982 Japanese mono reissues on red wax vinyl. I have one more John Lennon album to show you, which is a Japanese album, live in New York City. The back cover. Here's the insert. The inner sleeve. And finally the record. It's on Capitol. Okay, I'm going to show a few Paul McCartney records. This first one is a Wings one. This is Venus and Mars. This is a Japanese pressing. Without the obi, unfortunately. Here's the gatefold. And here's all the contents that's part of the album. Poster 1. Poster 2. And poster 3. And here's a strip with all the planets. And here's an insert here. And here's the original inner sleeve for the record. What's unique about this Japanese pressing of Venus and Mars? It's a white label promo. And this one is in fantastic condition. Okay, I have a few more Japanese records to show you. This next one is a Paul McCartney 12-inch. This is the first Japanese record I've ever purchased. This one inspired me to want to buy more Japanese albums. I went to Washington, D.C. a few years ago to see Paul McCartney in concert, and I stopped at a record store, and they had this for $20, and it was in mint condition. I only played this record once after I purchased it. Next Japanese record I have is Take It Away, the 12-inch EP. Has the obi. There's an insert here. Here's the yellow wax vinyl. Plays at 45 RPMs. Alright, I have one more Paul McCartney album to show you. This next album is not my favorite album of his, but I found this for a nice price and couldn't resist it. This is Paul McCartney's 1983 album, Pipes of Peace. Back of it, gatefold. Here's the insert with the lyrics, all of the songs on the album. And I believe that's the Japanese lyrics. Here's the record on Odeon Records. Okay, I have one more album to show you. It's by George Harrison. This is the only George Harrison album I have in my collection that's pressed in Japan. I'm looking to want to buy more Japanese pressings of George Harrison's albums, as well as John Lennon and Paul McCartney's albums. I currently don't have any Ringo Starr albums that were pressed in Japan, but hopefully that will change someday. Alright, I'm going to show you this George Harrison album, and that's All Things Must Pass. This is the first pressing. Before I open this box, I want to say that this doesn't include a poster. I'm going to have to maybe find another copy that has the big poster. Back of it. Here's the insert here. Here's the inner sleeve for record 1. Here's record 1 here on red vinyl on the orange apple. Here's the inner sleeve for record 2. Same kind of record here. This is on dark red vinyl, orange apple label. Here's the inner sleeve for the Apple Jam record. This one too is on dark red vinyl, but it has the Apple Jam label. Alright folks, I hope you enjoy seeing all of the Japanese Beatles albums, both group and solo. I have plans to buy more Japanese Beatles albums in the future, as well as Japanese albums by other artists that are among my favorite artists of all time. I'm currently working on a video project right now where I show all of the Beatles posters I currently have in the house, so stay tuned for that. For now, I want to say farewell to all of you. Thank you very much for watching, and talk to you all later. Take care.